Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, let me ask you guys a question, all right? Why should we not be hard on ourselves? I mean, last night I'm sleeping and I have apple juice, the only liter of apple juice that I have, and it's all I drink. I'm not a big water guy. I put the fucking apple juice next to me as I sleep, and sure enough, I knock it over as I sleep, and it's all over my floor, and it's not a biggest deal. But I spend about an hour beating the shit out of myself. Because let me ask you guys a question. Maybe someone has an answer after all this research psychologists have do. Psychiatrists are good at. Answer me one simple question, science. Why do we fuck up? Can someone tell me why we fuck up? I mean, I knew when I put the apple juice there in the back of my head that there was a chance I was going to knock it over. Why the fuck did I put it there? You know, it's like guys who are psychopathic and they kill someone. They know there's a good chance they're going to end up getting caught and spend the rest of their time in jail. Why the fuck do they do it? Why does the human being have such a fault that we continuously make mistakes throughout the day and throughout our lives? It's a fundamental question I've never heard addressed. I have never heard it addressed. Example. Young man or young woman, or old man or old woman, is walking across the train tracks. They do it every day, and every day they look both ways. This one time they decide not to look both ways, well, they get hit by a train and killed. The question is, again, why the fuck? Why the fuck didn't they look both ways? What the fuck is wrong with the human brain? I mean, it's our lives. Yesterday it's just my apple juice. But 2 months ago, I did the same thing with a piece of wood. It could have killed me. It ended up flying into my leg. I wasn't hurt. But I could have been killed, blinded. I could have hit my nose. I could have busted my nose. And I saw a possibility. People, this is my fucking anger coming out of me. Hey, I'm not angry at the world. I don't project my anger so much. It's me I'm fucking angry at. I mean, because it's not just me, it's also God. It's also fucking God. And that's who I curse a lot. My neighbors must think I'm fucking psychotic, which I think I do go psychotic. Because I watch these nature videos. You have these beautiful animals, you know, and many of them actually pair bond, so they're with their boyfriend or their girlfriend or their husband or their wife their whole life. And along comes another creature of God, quote unquote, and eats it. God is a fucking piece of shit as far as I'm concerned, alright? That's what I've realized. I believe in him. I believe in a higher power or an external, entity that's greater than us. But I feel I have such a close relationship where I can tell him, just like I would tell my girlfriend or my mother or my father when they're a piece of shit, that they're big pieces of shit. And I have to ask myself every fucking day, why don't you leave me fucking alone, God? Why don't you fucking leave me alone? You fucking gave me two parents who are fucking rejected. Give me a fucking break, you fucking rejected fucking God. You know, I have a feeling God is a fucking narcissistic piece of shit, like the ones we've been dealing with our whole lives. Yeah, he created us. He created us to fucking torture us, just like my fucking mother and father. Unfucking believable. All this from a spilled apple juice. And I remember something when I spilled that apple juice and I was screaming. I was remembering how growing up, my mother would do the same thing. Like I remember one time I dropped a fork, and she went ballistic. I mean, she did that all the time. So it leads me to believe that there is possibly a genetic correlation. My father, no. My father's psychopathic father. Nothing really bothered him unless you offended him directly. If you took the food before he was able to eat, well, then he might smack you on the knuckles with the fork. But in terms of minor annoyances, the guy didn't care because he was obviously fond of little boys. Now, if you're fond of hanging around with little boys or having sex with little boys, then obviously you're not going to be disturbed by what little boys do or little girls, make a mess and be noisy and annoying. For some reason, he finds that attractive. I find it sick, man. Sometimes I walk around and look at little boys, especially, and I'm like, what the fuck did he see in that? how disgusting was the man I was brought to. And my mother is still fondly pretending she's married to the guy, knowing that he destroyed both her sons. He's a boy rapist. She still pretends to be married to him. She never flushed him down the toilet. Two sick fucking parents I'm born to, and this fucking God still wants to fucking kick me around the rest of my fucking life. I'll tell you something. I'm glad I did not find all this shit out until I was older. Had I been raised knowing this kind of shit, fucking bullshit that I was fucking thrust into without any fucking options, man, I would be in jail today. I would, because I already feel sick. I feel angry. Something I'm going to tell you guys. This is very, very good information. I'm glad I just remembered it now. It comes down to, well, it's advice for gay guys. It's advice for gay guys, because I'm not homophobic. But since I know my father was a child molester of boys, when I see an older man look at me now, or try to pick me up, or even a guy, like, if I see a guy looking at me and I think he's trying to pick me up, I lash out at him. And it's not because I'm homophobic. It's not because I'm upset at him being attracted to me. It's because I see my father in my head. So you guys got to be very careful. I can understand now. I can understand. I mean, if a guy grabbed me at this point, I've had it in the past. Before I remembered all my childhood, when I used to go to clubs, there'd be gay guys grabbing my nipples and all kinds of my balls. I mean, I didn't care. I figured, okay, hey, if I was able to do that to women and get away with it, I would do it too. So since it doesn't offend me, whatever. I didn't exactly stand there and let him do it. I'd push them away, but I wouldn't. I understand. Today, even though I still understand, it's unfortunate that now I've been traumatized. So now what comes to mind is my father, and I'll beat the shit out of somebody. If they come on to me now, and I'm in a bad mood. If I'm triggered, it's a very, very. Now I understand. I have a feeling a lot of those homophobic people were probably molested by their fathers, and they don't want to admit that, but so they harbor some kind of anger. That's all I can think of, because otherwise, why would you ever have any anger towards someone who wants to have sex with you? It doesn't really make sense. Anyhow, I'm fucking I just wonder when God is just gonna fucking leave me alone. It's like, fuck you, man. It's like, fuck you. Go fuck with somebody else, you fucking prick. Go fuck with someone else. Fucking lowlife scumbag. Fuck. Fucking apple juice.